Hello, and welcome back to the Coop Villa podcast. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher and Tommy Lazarides, and we are doing a live stream, our first live stream on the channel. And yes, I know that we did promise that Max would be joining us this week, but we had a bit of a scheduling, miscommunication. So he will be on again soon, but just not this week, unfortunately. But we are doing something different with the live stream. So please ask us some questions if you're watching in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. And we're going to be talking about Luton Town versus Aston Villa, of course, coming up from, reviewing the game from Saturday night. And we will be bringing you that and much more live after this. Yes,
I love it.
There we go. And yeah, we are back
totally
live.
Unprofessional.
We are totally unprofessional. That's the most accurate thing ever said about the podcast. But no, look, guys, let's talk about the game, because what a match we've got to talk about. Aston Villa 3, Luton 2, and a game of two halves, Noah. The first half, we were absolutely cruising. Ollie Watkins putting on an absolute magnificent display with 2 goals, and it was just unbelievable football. And at this point, at half time, I thought we'd go on to win the game 4-5-0.
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same what you said, Scott. Ollie Watkins, what a player. 16 goals, his best season in the Premier League as we speak, and it's still got, 11 games to go? Is that right? 10 games to go?
11, I think.
11
yes.
It's remarkable. And Tommy, you said a long time ago we need this 20-goal a season striker, and I think we've got one. I really think we do, and he's been building, and 16 goals, 10 assists, and he's flying. The team's flying, and yeah, just bring on Ajax.
Absolutely. Tommy, we going to this game, it was a bit of a potential banana skin. Like Luton had some good performances and some decent results at home, and you know what you're going to get when you go there. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere, which it was. You're going to get balls into the box, a lot of defending and crosses, a lot of physicality. They press from the front. They certainly have a go. They're not a defensive team, and we quelled that so well in the first half, and we were the ones that scored from the set piece. The first goal, great header by Ollie Watkins, is right in the top corner.
Yeah, right. I'm kind of pissy because my 4-0 prediction didn't come to fruition. At halftime, I was buzzing, thinking, "Oh bloody, I've got him this time." But anyway, Villa let me down once again. But yeah, no, set pieces. It's not the first time we've been a threat off set pieces this season, let alone converted. I think Austin McPhee's certainly earning his wages, that's for sure. Goal number 2, love it, right? Like you finish it, and if it's onside, like take me back to that goal John Joe Shelby scored a long time ago, and then you score until they review, and it was actually a fortuitous result for us in terms of VAR, and Ollie's off to the races, right, with 2 goals, and I thought, the floodgates could open here, maybe a double hat trick, who knows? And I won't dive too much into the second half, but yeah, definitely a game of 2 halves, and certainly all over him in the first half. I know our waveform's been questioned this season, but 2-0 was a great way, and unlike Forest, at least we didn't concede and managed to keep a clean sheet at the half.
Yeah, well, that's a great little segue into what I was going to ask next to Noah, and that is that sort of, all the pundits and all the sort of, tops, big six lovers have always said, yeah, Villa are doing well now, but their away form's not very good, or Unai Emery's getting a few results, but they can't sustain it. And what are they saying now? They are basically all having to say, yeah, well, it looks like Villa will finish in the top 4. And it's great to sort of get rid of that tag that we're a different team from home to away. And we proved that in this match, showing, some real fight and some grit to come back, like we'll talk about later.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the 4th best away record in the league now and the 3rd best at home. So that's not going to shut up the critics. I don't know what actually will, Scott. It's an amazing turnaround because, let's be honest, our away form was questionable. I mean, we had such high expectations under Unai Emery when he first came in, and then we kind of had a bit of a down dip this season. Lost to Forest away. We drew with Everton, and they're probably results that we thought would go our way at the start of the season, but we've turned it around. I really think the main turnaround for us of recent times was that United game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think we play well in that, and then you look what's come after that. We've just been absolutely clinical against Fulham and against Luton as well, and then Forest in the middle.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the Sheffield United game was probably where we started to get our mojo back, Tommy. And then even though we did lose to Man United, I thought we played quite well in that game. Probably deserved to get more out of it. And then since then, we've done quite well, beating Fulham, and then beating Forest last week. And then this result was great. Do you think we can continue this sort of momentum for the rest of the season, or will the sort of European games and that sort of thing maybe catch up with us?
I did a bit of revision last night, and one thing I would say is I'm probably concerned with some of our fixtures coming up. We don't have an easy run in, and then I kind of look at a lot of the teams like Spurs and who they've got, on the tail end of their season finish. So, yeah, I think we've got some really difficult games coming up. However, big sides or not, we are in the top 4. I know we should go in with the mindset of we can beat anyone. But you kind of look at all the teams above us. No one's really winning convincingly. I mean, Arsenal, yeah, they're doing well, but Arsenal's Arsenal. They'll choke. And, then we've got City. We've got Liverpool as well. This isn't an easy run for us.
No.
I'm really pissy that Palace couldn't bloody, hold that lead on the weekend. I thought maybe they would have seen it out, and then Spurs go and, pull 3 back last minute. So, I'd probably say they've got their mojo back. And next game's Spurs game on Sunday is a huge game for us. So I'm optimistic, but I think I'm also realistic. Spurs game is huge right now, especially given they've got a game in hand as well.
Absolutely. All right, and we've got a question here from Mark T70A1. Tall Man City apart to the second half panic at Luton. I think part of the reason is the subs was to get the players settled back into the Emery ball. Just goes to show how important the subs are. Well, that's a good point, because in the second half, Noah, we were under the cosh for long periods. We didn't seem to be able to hold the ball and play our possession style football like we had in the first half, and that gave Luton a lot of time and space to get quality into the box. Morgan Rogers, I think, played very well for when we had the ball for his debut, but I think he found it difficult on the defensive end, and a lot was coming down that left-hand side of ours. I know Tommy's got some stats.
I won't cut you off, Scott, but we're talking about defense as well. So got some stats after the game. So not only does he have bags of talent, he's a young hot prospect, and I know there was a lot of question marks of why did we sign Rogers? We could have kept Archer, and I think these stats speak to Rogers' performance. He probably got some good minutes in him. So 86% passing accuracy, which is great. 100% successful dribbles, 100% accurate long balls, 2 chances created, 5 defensive actions, and 100% aerial duels won. So again, little things that make a big difference, as Mark said. We'll touch on what's his bloody name, Diaby coming on and getting the assist for the winner, and that's the impact we want from the subs, right? Ollie, we know what we're going to get out of him. Dougie, we know what we're going to get out of him. But with the subs, we all know they're capable. Bailey was a sub not too long ago, this time last year, right? And now he's starting all of a sudden. So anything's possible with this squad. Digne coming in, right? I know he was kind of banished to the bench and then pops up at the bloody winner. He's been so important for us. I certainly think he's turned a corner. And if we do get rid of him, I think it's only due to financial fair play and wages. It'd be great to have him and Moreno, rotating between Cup and Prem, Champions League as well next year, right? So, Yeah, I thought Rodgers was excellent. I think he had a really good chance that could have gone in, but it happens. It's not the first time that he's kind of missed some potential sitters, but we'll let him off. We'll say it's early.
Good save from Kaminsky, to be fair.
I know he was awesome.
It was. And he likes that sort of finish. He scored a goal for Borough. I think in one of his last games against Chelsea in the League Cup that was very similar to that. So when I saw him cut in on his right foot, I was expecting the curling effort into the far corner, and he wasn't far away. And I think it'll come for him. I think, and once he learns that defensive sort of discipline and positioning that Emery demands of all the players. I mean, you look at someone like Leon Bailey, right? Not known for his defense at all, but under Emery, he just fills the gap, does his job, has a little nibble at the player, like when they go into his area, and he doesn't need to be like a John McGinn or a Kamara, like winning tackles. He just needs to, keep the shape and not get exposed and run around like a headless chook. And that makes it hard for us to be broken down. But credit to Luton. I really like a lot about them. I thought, and they really did push us that second half. I think, that Doherty at the back has got a wand of a left peg. Very good player. But Barkley, Townsend, these guys, they are quality players, and because their manager Rob Edwards, who I think has done a great job, even though they are in the bottom three still. I think he gives them the confidence to have a go, and I think that they're not done. I think they can get out of it. But they probably need to start winning games now. But look, they got back to 2-2. There was the set piece that led to the first goal, and then it was pretty bad marking. I think it might have been, who was it? Was it McGinn? I think McGinn might have lost his
maybe. Yeah. I wasn't too sure.
On the second goal, anyway, when Morris side-footed it in, that was pretty poor marking, and we don't want to be giving away goals that easy. And I think Emery will be very frustrated with that. 100%. But the fact that we had 10 minutes to go when it was 2-2, and we came back and we were the side that took the lead. He made the quadruple sub, Tommy. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And
you gotta love him. You gotta love him, mate. Honestly, I think Timmy could have got 3 yellows, lucky boy. Well, he didn't get sent off, and that's the main thing, Coxie. So we'll take it. But I think it was last game, post-match interview with McGinn, and he said something like, big team's knocking on the door, so I've got to be on my A game. He's literally banging on the door to start, and so that probably says a lot. And I think Tim's relishing the opportunity, and I think he'll take it with both hands. I think from what I've seen, he looks really impressive, and it's great to know that he's an academy product as well, right? Like the future's just so bright right now for a lot of these young stars, and even the starting 11. If we can retain Ollie and Dougie, I know everyone's going to say, they'll stay. Trust me, when I think Arsenal will probably come in for both, and that's Ollie's boyhood club that he supported. It's very different, right? Like if I was playing for another club and Villa came banging on the door, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting end of season, but just such good times ahead, to be honest, Scott.
Yeah, and a huge week coming ahead. But another guy that I wanted to highlight, Noel, is Moussa Diaby, because he's had a difficult run, and he came in with a bang. The preseason tour of America. He started. He came off the bench, scored a goal straight away. Was scoring goals in preseason. Started scoring goals in the Premier League, getting assists, and was looking after maybe 3 months of the season as one of the signings of the season in the Premier League. But then he's sort of dried up a little bit over the Christmas period. Leon Bailey took his spot. And I think one thing that maybe Emery got a little bit wrong is that when Diaby was scoring and playing and starting, Leon Bailey would still get half an hour, right? He would still come in and they'd make that change, with half an hour, 20 minutes to go. Whereas I don't think you can say the same since he turned it around. Since Diaby's been coming in much later. And I hope with the assist, which was a beautiful ball for Digne, maybe he'll bring him on 10 minutes earlier and, give those guys, our opposition something different to think about.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And look, as you said, Diaby started like a house on fire. We were unbelievably excited about what the season would hold for him. And I mean, I guess you can go back to every sort of player we signed from a different country. They always take a bit of time to settle in. And that's what surprised us about Diaby, is how quickly we thought he'd settled in. And obviously he's gone a little bit cold, and Bailey, rightly so, took his spot. And I mean, Bailey, what a season he's had. I mean, we could talk about him for 40 minutes. But Diaby's had to wait for his chances.
A goal involvement every 80 minutes, and there's only two players in the Premier League that are better than that. I think it's Haaland and Salah, perhaps, are the only ones better. So, yeah, he's absolutely on fire. Continue.
And it's just like, for Diaby, I think he knows that he's got to work even harder to get into the team, and that's a good problem to have. You have a player like Diaby coming off the bench that we spend, 55 or something million on.
Yes.
It's a ridiculous thing to have, and it's what we want. I think in the Conference League, he'll play a big part. He's got 2 games coming up in a week, and I think it gives him more time to play football, more time to get fit, more time to get back in form, and ask more questions of Unai Emery for the Premier League matches.
Yeah, and what a cross it was, Tommy. I actually think, like, this is just a theory of mine. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think he might have watched or seen the goal that Liverpool scored just before we kicked off, with the McAllister chipping it in for Núñez, because he was in such a similar spot. And when he got the ball and he sort of faked one way and then came back on his left, I was thinking, oh, he's gonna knock it in like McAllister did. And it was a very similar ball. And, maybe Digne thought the same and thought, I'm getting in the box like Núñez did, because, a cross is coming here, and it was a beautiful cross and a great header.
Yeah, except there wasn't a controversial ending to the game, Scott. That's the difference. So
very true, very true. But a huge.
At least the ref didn't blow the whistle. At least the ref didn't blow the whistle as the ball was touched before being crossed in, like Real Madrid. Oh my God, what a night! What a weekend it's been, football.
And
but I don't know. Maybe it's actually quite funny. It's almost identical. It's funny you mentioned that.
It's just something that I thought about.
Yeah, it's surprised no one brought up in an interview. Maybe Jeff Cooper, one of this season's most exciting games from Thornley, Wilson.
That's from Thornley. That's the hood, buddy. That's where I grew up. Thanks, Dad, for the comment. That's
represent. I'm probably going to get shot on live. Probably going to get sniped. Forgot this is live. Whoops.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
that's great.
Wow. Great new intro. It's a great Australian tradition to take the piss out of ourselves. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we're good at taking the piss of ourselves, and that was made by our great friend Troy, who sadly passed away, and we all think about him every time we do a show, because
it's certainly a way to go out,
him.
Right? That's right. Yeah. It's funny that we'll always think of Troy when we see that, but then it's also just typical Troy to take the piss out of himself, and to be honest, all of us in this pod. So, no, it's been good. I can't believe we're doing a live stream. Who would have thought? What is this? Is this year 3 for the pod? Didn't we start 2022?
Yeah, it's season 3.
This is season 3, yeah, and it's been, a great season. The channel's grown and the team's doing great, and we're enjoying it as much as always. And we'll be doing a lot more of these live videos now that this one seems to be working, and everything seems to be going well so far. But keep the questions going in if you're listening in, and we'll read them out, because that's why we're here. We want to get your feedback. But huge week with Noah.
Owen, we love you, mate. We love you, Owen.
And hi, Owen. And yes, he will be there, I'm guessing, for Ajax away. He's going over to Holland, to Amsterdam. And I actually watched their game last night. I watched a bit of Ajax versus Utrecht. They won 2-0, but they had some injuries. They had players getting sent off. It was a bit of a feisty game.
I like it.
Yeah, and I watched it, and it's hard to really tell that too much from a game like that, because they did win 2-0, and it was quite a comfortable victory. But I'm not really too bothered by what I saw. I think we can beat them. I think if we play like we have in the last few weeks, we can get a positive result in Amsterdam.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just so keen to see firstly the Villa on Tour video. after that because the fans going over there are going to be electric. It's going to be some atmosphere. I'm not sure when the last time I actually got to play it in Ajax against Ajax. It's going to be something special, something I don't remember seeing. I don't think I was a massive Villa supporter when we last played Ajax, but
yeah,
geez, two I guess big boys playing in the Europa Conference League is special. I think it's probably what the Conference League wanted. To be honest with you, it's a battle for the ages.
I was
going to
say Noah, right? That's right.
Yes.
You're probably going to get a lot of clubs with good history, maybe having a bad season that didn't make Champions League or Europa, like us and Ajax, right? And probably a few others in the mix throughout Europe. So, yeah, I actually think the conference is awesome, to be honest. It's almost like a bit of a second chance into Europa League, and it's just another comp, right? And it also allows for squad depth. Silly question. So, if you're playing in more comps, is there any sort of leeway with financial fair play?
I don't think
I
so.
think you get more money. No, you get it helps your income. I think so.
Theoretically, you'd be making more money from the ticket.
Yeah, so we get Champions League and stuff. We get more broadcast and more ticket sales. I think stuff like that. So
yeah, and the further you go as well, the more money you make in the tournament. So yeah, from that perspective, you can.
How can you?
Yeah, you can spend more.
Okay,
we've got another question.
Scott, you read it out. You're the host.
All right. Mings is 31 next week, coming back from an ACL. Should we be expecting much from his return? Thanks, Mark Thornton, for that question. It's an interesting point. I think we're going to have to be patient with him. I wouldn't expect him to play this season. Maybe, I don't know, maybe off the bench here and there, but I would certainly wouldn't be throwing him in quickly. But I think he looks after himself quite well. We saw a lot of his videos on the social media of him doing his rehab. He was over in America for a time, doing his rehab over there. So I think, if this was sort of 20 years ago, I'd be worried. But with the technology and the sort of rehab that we have these days, I can see him coming back and still having a good year or two. I mean, Van Dijk took him a bit of time, but he's sort of back to close to his best now. So, I can see him still being a valuable part of the squad.
Yeah, I think the one concern for me is it's his second ACL injury. But before, I guess, he came to Villa, he actually hadn't played a ridiculous amount of football. So I think the fight and hunger will still be there for him more than anything to come back. And I really feel sorry for him because if anyone in our squad deserved to play European football, he was one of him and McGinn, who'd been there for such a long time, probably were up there in the ones that I guess deserved it, to be honest,
there's no
European night.
The thing is, we've almost guaranteed that we've got at least Europa next year, right? So, he'll have chances then as well. No, and do we rush him back or...
No, don't rush him back this season at all.
I think Longlay's hit a little bit of a purple patch, to be honest. So,
I thought he had a very good game.
Yeah, I thought so. I think he's coming into it now, and I'd actually love to see us sign him. And that's probably a great segue. I think it looks like Zaniolo's on his way out because I think he's spoken with the Italian coach, and he goes, well, if you're not playing, you're not going to be starting for the national team anymore. So I think he wants to go back to Italy, and fair enough, right? He probably hasn't got a good run. I think Bailey's resurgence this season has probably exiled a few all of a sudden, or at least pushed them down the pecking order. Who's that? Paul Cox. West Ham at 22 mil for last season's Conference League prize money. Coxie, mate, stats must run in the family, that's for sure. So that's great to know. There you go. More money to spend. And Hammers have made some awesome signings. I'd love to go in for bloody Kudus, that's for sure. Or even Bowen. I think he's a Villa fan, if I'm correct.
See, he is. But look, I don't think we'll be spending too much this summer. I think, I guess it all depends if we do get in the Champions League. But look, I think we need to sort of, get there, get in the Champions League, see what the finances look like, and, see what we can do. If we can bring one or two in, make sure that their quality players are going to help the team. Just going back to the game, there's a few other players. I think Matty Cash had a really good game.
That goal line clearance.
The clearance off the goal line was quality. It was I felt so bad for him that it actually still eventuated in a goal. But I thought he was great. I thought Emi Martinez was great. He didn't have many saves to make, but I thought a lot of his crosses and coming for the crosses, demanding being a demanding presence in the area. I thought he was great. John McGinn again. playing that Kamara role a bit deeper, a bit more sort of just sweeping in front of the back four. And I think he's really learning that role and adapting. I think that this is huge for us because that was a major worry for me when Kamara went down, that, you know, he was such an influential player for us. And it just shows that Emery can coach players to, you know, do things that maybe aren't natural.
That's right. That's right. I think it's also playing as part of a system now and actually understanding what the role is, not just, McGinn, you're going to go play Kamara's position, you know, try and win a few tackles, run around like a loose chicken, and then we're exposed in front of the defense. I think his positioning's been awesome now, and he kind of knows what to do and what not to do, or what to maybe limit himself from doing. I'd still love to see Timmy. I'm so biased, but I want to see Timmy in there, to be honest. I thought he looked really good in some of the games that he's come on.
Well, what do you think we might see, Noah, in Amsterdam? Could we see someone like Timmy start? I'm thinking, you know, a Diaby could definitely start, maybe a Zaniolo. I'm still think he'll go with like his big guns like Ollie, Dougie, and McGinn. Well, how do you see the potential starting lineup for that game on Thursday?
Yeah, I was going to say, I reckon maybe 4 or 5 changes. I'm a bit biased. I'd love to see Joe Gauci make his debut. Obviously, that's a bit biased. It's a big it's a big game for him to make his debut in, so it's probably not going to happen, being the Aussie. But he has
that pen save. We win 1-0. Gauci. Martinez scored for 200 mil. touch wood. We love him.
It's just good to see another villain, an Aussie villain, I guess, be around. And yeah, I think
it is good. And I think this is part of the reason that I was a little bit disappointed that we drew Ajax in this round, because if we had like a Maccabi Haifa or a Sturm Graz or someone like that, I think maybe he could have done something like that. But I think now, Ajax are a quality team and they're a big club and they know how to do European football, something that we don't have, right? So
I'm going to side with Marine Boys. So Marine Boys just said, play the kids against Ajax and get ready for one of the biggest games in Villa's history on Sunday. I'm totally with you. I think the Spurs game is so much bigger than Ajax. You know, because if we can increase that gap between us and Spurs, Champions League so much more appetizing, and I'm sure the prize money's better too, right? Not to win it, but at least to qualify or make a deep run.
But I think we have to play the kids within reason.
Yeah, I agree. That's what
I think a team could come in easy. Like I think
100%.
Yeah,
Tim or Rogers, Tim, Diaby, like they're not shit players.
No, I think that'd be good, but I don't want to see like a Martin O'Neill.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
You know, 08, where he basically just threw the tie,
tanked it. Yeah.
Right. If we don't go all out to win this competition, what was the point of finishing 7th and beating Brighton on that last day? You know, we've got to actually, like, silverware is important, and I think, you know, 1 or 2, 3 or 4 changes. Okay, I'm happy with that, but you know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go silly and start playing like, I don't know, some of the kids that haven't even stepped on the pitch yet, right? So
Mark called it as well. He goes, no, don't play the kids.
Yeah, Mark.
I remember when Mark O'Neill
he's
did
against
that.
you, mate.
Mark T is one of this guy knows his stuff. He must be an actual Villa fan.
And I guess there's two ways to sort of approach this game. You can either say, all right, let's play the best team we've got in the first leg, try and get a positive result, and then, you know, maybe take them off with 10, 20 minutes to go, right? Yeah. If we're 2-0 up or something, you know, really go for it at the start. Or you play, you know, a weaker team and you sort of play maybe a little bit more defensive and a little bit more solid, and then, you know, try and beat Spurs and then win the game at Villa Park against Ajax. So
I think we go all out attack, Scott, score, and then just park that fucking bus. I think bring in Chambers, bring in Etwich, play 5 in the back. It's 1995 since you won anything FFS. I'm sick of my blue-nosed mate rubbing it in. Mark, look, I don't think your mate's going to have a club to support in 3 or 4 years, so don't stress, mate. We'll be just fine.
Look, they can live on that one Carabao Cup all they like. Look, let's face it. They're not going to win anything else for a while, are they? So,
we might buy the Blues training ground. We might buy Blues Stadium as a training facility. How about that? That'd be a kick in the guts.
But I do agree. Like if you said to me top 4 or the Europa Conference, it's tough. It's tough.
It's really tough.
I want to see a trophy.
It's really tough.
I know,
really
but
do.
like we belong in the Champions League. We don't belong in this league, Scott. That's what we
And-
need to be realistic about. We belong in Champions League. We've
We
won
do.
the fucking Champions League twice.
And we have the
twice.
manager to do
Twice.
so. And this is
That's
another
right.
comment that's just come
That's
in.
right.
And
Emery is a Champions League specialist, and
he
Europa,
knows
which is
how to
won
do
3
both.
times.
He knows how to play league and play
Villa
European
has to learn
football.
how to juggle Europe and the Premier League. Well, yeah, that's true, Kieran. I do agree, to be honest.
And
So.
I think that's what Kieran makes a great point. I think that's what Emery is good at. That's what he does. He he takes a team that maybe isn't the greatest in the league, and he makes them punch above their weight and qualify for Europe, and then do well in Europe. So
and confidence.
Yeah. So look, it's a tough one, but look, I want both. So I'm not going to settle for one or the other. I want us to finish top 4 and win the Europa Conference, and I think we can.
True.
But I think Emery's got a plan, and I think it's going to be a very, very interesting starting lineup. And it's an early kickoff as well, isn't it?
I did notice that.
It's
you
a
know what I'm thinking,
4:45 in Melbourne.
If we beat, so it's home and away, right? If we beat Ajax, I'm telling you, teams will be shitting bricks to play us after that. I think that'll really prove that I think we can make a deep run. Probably women. I mean, West Ham won it, right? I mean, look at their Premier League season compared to ours. I don't want to cast aspersions and draw comparisons, but Brighton have been shit. Newcastle, mediocre. Yeah, it's really just us and Spurs. I know United are somewhat in the mix, but they'll drop off as usual. So, I feel like we're the real deal, and I think we're going to get it done against Ajax. I wouldn't say comfortably, but I think we'll get it done.
Marine Boy has just asked a question saying, if Villa qualify for the Champions League, we might be able to hang on to our better players.
True.
Well, I agree to a point, but I also think that if we don't qualify for them, we'll keep most of them. I don't know. I mean, there might be.
It's going to take a serious offer to get rid of some of these players. To be honest,
I think Ollie's a 9-figure player right now. I think he's 100 mil plus. I think Luiz is probably 80. I know he's class. Could we replace Luiz with 80 mil? Potentially. Ollie?
I mean, Declan Rice costs over 100. I know that's what to do with English tax and stuff, but
Ollie's English as well. Do we maybe?
How much do you reckon we could get for Emi Martinez?
70.
Yeah, I was going to say 70.
Well,
but I don't think they're priceless.
Better than him.
They're priceless.
I think you have to look at accolades. Yeah, I think you have to look at how much they mean to the team. So there'll be a Villa tax. And I think just what they've accomplished. I mean, a World Cup's a pretty big achievement, and safe to say, I think he probably won it off his own back in that last game.
I mean, I don't want us to lose anyone, but I'm just thinking.
Me neither.
I'm just thinking if one had to go out of Ollie, Douglas Luiz, and Martinez, maybe
it has to be Dougie.
But the thing is, right? It is like, look who we sold in the off season. 100% profitable players.
Go bring Grealish back. You sell Dougie to City and Grealish plus 20 or 30 mil.
Is potentially the youth the way to keep our better players? Do we sell players like Timmy, Kesler, Hayden with a buyback clause and see how they get on playing
I see how well
football?
Well, that seems to be the trend.
Except for fucking Philogene. We had the dumbest buyback clause and the only one that's actually showing promise right now. That's the funny part.
So he doesn't have a buyback clause?
He does, but I think they have to get promoted. We can buy him back. So if they don't get promoted, I think we can match any offer that's made to them.
Yeah, we can.
Right.
We can.
But I know Spurs are monitoring him now. Liverpool were looking at him. So I'm not one to go off rumours, but if they were looking at him, why didn't we keep him? Why didn't we insert a better clause in there?
Probably because of this FFP sort of stuff that
I mean, because we sold him and bought Rodgers, pretty much a similar player for a similar position.
A zero-sum gain. And, I think Rodgers is it's a step up, so he'd probably be willing to accept a subpar role where I think Philogene Bidate's not cocky, but I think he just wanted minutes. And rightfully so. The kid's got bags of talent. Why wouldn't you want to showcase it? Villa don't generate enough money to cover future transfers compared to the bigger clubs. That's true, Marine Boy, but we're going to block you as a fan.
But that can only go in one direction, right? I mean, like if we're successful and we keep playing in the Premier League and we keep playing in the top 4 of the Premier League and keep Champions League and Europe and all that sort of stuff, then we will get bigger revenue. We are a big club, and I think we're
Elliot
gonna.
Stevens said it. So Ali and Stevens, sorry, Scotty, just because Bidace wanted to play every week, and yeah, like I said that, and he's really showcasing it now that he's getting minutes under his belt. I hope he's not one of those ones that got away, but it is what it is, right? Because we signed him so young.
Yeah, no, that's right. And
go on, Scott.
That I agree. I mean, I think we had to sort of get rid of him because he was going to just kick up a fuss if he stayed and didn't play regularly. But we've got this buyback clause in place, and if he turns into an absolute world star, then we have a chance to get him back.
I'm saying yep to Kieran Smith's comment. So hard to find good strikers. Must try and keep Ollie at all costs. 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
It's out of Ollie, Emmy, Dougie, who's the hardest to replace? Like, I don't think Ollie's
Ollie 100%.
Because I know, like he's actually improved his finishing dramatically, and that's coming from me, right? And when you add the work rate, anyone else can finish, but who's got that work rate?
And if you wanted to make an Unai Emery centre forward in a laboratory, it would be Ollie Watkins, right? It would be someone who's good at pretty much everything. He might not be elite at a few things like finishing maybe in his first touch
or having a son.
Or whatever, right? but he's really good at everything else, right? He's a good link-up player. He fights. He's he's got great work rate and all that, and puts himself about. And he's getting better and better. So he would be absolutely that would be a nightmare if we lost him.
Does someone want to read out Mark's comment? Mark, you're on the money tonight. It's like
so. Mark said we sold.
Mark's going to be a special guest the way he's going.
We use the money to build better teams. We don't have a natural reserve keeper, reserve striker or keeper. So Dougie, if we have to sell, okay, well,
smart.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess Sunday's one of the biggest games. Yeah, I think Sunday's so big, and it's at home, right?
It's at home against Spurs. It's a massive game.
We really need Villa Park to be rocking, man.
It will be. It absolutely will be.
They're going to bring some serious away support.
Yeah, it is going to be a huge game, and they're going to go for it because that's what the Postecoglou teams do. We, being Australians, know all about him. He was a manager of Australia for many years, and had success there. Had success in Japan, in Scotland, and he's doing well for Spurs.
Look,
and
I know he's done well, but when you compare his resume to Emery's, it's chalk and cheese, Scott. Right? I feel like Emery still doesn't get the credit and respect that he deserves. When you look at that resume and what he's accomplished and the teams he's actually coached, probably didn't work out at Arsenal. They had no money, and he took a dog shit team to a Champions League final.
Yeah,
yeah, and then you got fucking Shamak and Bettner starting, for God's sake. Like, give the man some love.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and look,
right,
he gets tarnished by that Arsenal time, but they actually didn't do that bad. I think they finished 5th.
That's why I don't get it, because Arsenal fans are so negative on his time there, and it's like so harsh. But then you think that Arteta didn't get Champions League in 2 of his seasons.
Yeah, and he had a very sort of aging kind of a squad that was
the kids
needed rejuvenating. Wenger had let it go a bit stale.
Well, Emery laid the foundation for Arteta's team. If you look at the best players, a lot of them were Rezzi's actually getting a run under Emery, and look at him now flourishing. So
he gave Saka his debut. He gave Smith Rowe his debut.
Martinelli, these are 2 out of the 3 are starting from now, right? I'd still love to go for Smith Rowe end of season, by the way. I think it'd be a sparking.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of talk about that.
And the big question again. The big question again. We've all seen Jack Grealish with the towel over his head. Do we bring him home? I saw a lot of the comments on Opta Sport. So you gotta love the Villa.
I'm a real move on sort of person.
Look, I think the price would have to be right, and I don't think it would be. Just right now with the FFP and the potential that I've seen some places that were 140 million behind in sort of FFP. We need the Champions League money, which will be sort of 40 to 60 million plus
It's a lot.
And then
it's massive.
And then there's like, do we kind of build with that money, and then we're kind of now breaking away from the other teams in the EPL primarily because of the budget allocated now to Villa? Yeah, we might have to.
Yeah.
If maybe we do sell someone like a Digne, and that plus all the 40-60 mil wages and transfer fees, like we could do some serious damage. I think I would love to see what Emery can do with a war chest. I think he's great at finding gems, but I think Sawiris and Eden's obviously run a very well-established club right now, and we're very grateful for their leadership. But I'd love to see what Emery can do with a wad of cash.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon, though. I think, we've seen Everton have points deducted. Nottingham Forest are looking like they could get points deducted. Chelsea, Man City, of course, are there. 115.
Yeah,
FFP.
Man City, sure. Scott,
yeah,
sure.
man, it's going to take 10 years, man, 20 years.
I think it'll
Man
happen,
City,
though.
they'll just be left with Rodri.
I think this is just the beginning, boys. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are sweating this summer. And
are Liverpool going to get away with it? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like they've made some big name signings. And they weren't cheap.
Well, yeah, but I think they also managed to, get a few out and get a few. I don't think they're one of the
Champions
teams.
League as well. Yeah, that's true.
And the fact that Man United and them just have huge merchandise,
sales.
That helps, and that's
kind
bit
of
unfair.
why. That's kind of why they're trying to expand the market into other countries for us and try build our brand. I guess that's where, the American side of things that we're going for is where it's kind of up to now and trying to build into that sort of nature.
What a shame. We finally get rich owners. We get rich owners, and then the clamps are applied.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It's a bit unlucky, but I guess from the other point of view, it is lucky that we're in this situation where it could be 5 places for the Champions League this year. In the year that we push, and the whole change to the Champions League next season, if we could get in there, just get our foot in the door, that could be huge, because there's teams like Chelsea and Man United and Spurs and these sort of teams, like they might struggle next year. You don't know what's going to happen around the corner, and without Champions League football themselves, it could be they could find themselves having to sell some of their best players and not being able to go again in the transfer market like they have been. Like Chelsea spent £1 billion in 18 months, and that's going to come back and bite them on the arse, especially if they don't make Europe at all, which is looking very likely right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think we got some more good questions coming in. I think let's open it up for questions from the viewers.
Okay, let's do it.
Do we at Mark? Mark's speaking of the bugger. Here we go, Mark. You're just raw, mate. Look at him. All right. I love Grealish, but he's now a tampon player. Well, speaking of raw. All right, I see where we're going here. In for a week and out for 3. We don't need him. I like that. He's a tampon in for a week and out for 3. Good one, mate. We don't need him. Is he better than Bailey? Well, actually, very true, Mark.
On current form, I don't think he is.
Is he better than Bailey? No. Would we take him back in a heartbeat for the right price? Absolutely. I think it would be silly not to. If anyone can get the best out of any player, injured or not, I think it's Emery.
I think we can't forget what he did, what he did when he was with us before. And some players, I think, just need to be in the right environment to get the best out of them. And I think, I'd like to see him back just to see how it goes. I think it would be worth a gamble. Anyway.
I wouldn't touch Grealish, damaged goods. Shell Maynard. Noah, can you see all the comments chronologically? I can't see shit, to be honest.
I can indeed, man.
Why don't you read them?
Michelle Maynard, thanks for your question. I think 6 or 7 more wins needed for top 4. So 6 or 7 wins out of 11 games, that's doable, I think. Do you want to put the fixtures up, Noah, and we'll go through and see if we can find the 6 wins we need?
Villa female comment behind your mum, Scott Bonnie. Michelle, thank you.
It could be.
Welcome.
Thanks. It's great to have
everyone.
It's great to have everyone involved for sure.
So these are our fixtures, boys. Let's go through one by one, I guess, and everyone keep getting involved in these. So Michelle reckons 6 or 7 wins to get Champions League, and we've got some hard games coming up. So
can you scroll up a little bit?
Of course, I can.
Okay, so you've got Spurs at home, West Ham away, Wolves at home. So I think we can put Wolves at home as a win. I think Brentford at home we can put in as a
Brentford
win.
is a win. I think Brentford could be a hammering, which is great for goal difference. I think
West Ham away.
I think we'll draw.
Yeah, we don't have a good record at London Stadium. That's the only thing. That's the one thing.
If we're talking about bankers, absolute bankers, I think we've got Palace on the last day. Bournemouth at home, we can win. Palace, I think we'll win. Brighton, we always win against them.
For some reason, it's weird.
So that's 5 wins So 5 wins in games that I think we should win.
I think we'll beat Chelsea. I think Chelsea's a pencil right now. Sorry, I'm late from sunny England. Great new intro. John Taylor?
Thanks.
Is it Jean Taylor?
Thanks, Jean.
I mean, I'd say Jean is a beautiful first name, and then they just stuck you with Taylor. Not even like Jean-Pierre Taylor. JPT. Michelle Maynard, thanks for the warm welcome, guys. No worries.
Anytime.
We are fighting against Spurs and United, so just concentrate on who they are playing. I think
that's an interesting point. Can we maybe have a look at Man United and Spurs as fixtures?
Can you duplicate the screen now and just alternate between the 3?
So I can put one up at a time.
Let's go to Spurs. Click on Spurs.
This is Spurs is here.
This is live YouTube right here, boys and girls.
Can you magnify it, Noah, at all?
I can't.
Right. Let me just.
I'm still learning the ways about this. It's our first live show.
Sorry, I'm the idiot. I can expand my screen. Oh wait, no, I can't. Now it's gone tiny. What's happened? No. Going like midget.
But also on this fixture, you won't see they have the game against Chelsea coming up.
Beautiful. So they'll
which
lose
hasn't been penciled in, and that's away.
Hey, honestly, I'm not going to lie. Fulham Spurs. I'm going for Fulham, mate. Fulham. Marco Silva could get Coach of the Year. I think.
He wouldn't be far off.
Marco Silva
behind
Emery. Be far off at all.
I think he'd be in the top 3 or 4, Scott.
I don't know. I'd say Gary O'Neill maybe if behind Emery. He's done quite well.
Who's he coaching at?
Wolves.
Nah, man, Brentford coach is above him. Brentford played beautiful football.
But Brentford are really
but Brentford aren't really. They're struggling a bit.
Are they?
Yeah,
not as good as
Villa
last
has
season.
a better draw than. All right, let's get back to the task. So Spurs have Luton. We'll pencil that in as a bit of a win. But then, that's the thing. I want to see how many shit teams they've got. Oh, Spurs, Liverpool, that'd be great.
They've got Burnley. They got
Liverpool, Arsenal, City in 3 weeks.
Sheffield United.
That's going to kill them. Doesn't matter. They've got Liverpool, Arsenal, City.
Yes.
So back at mid to end of
going
April's
into those last 2
and
games.
Newcastle. That's a shit 4 games. Wayne Rooney, coach of the year. Yes, he is, Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
That's a great call there, Mark. Wayne Rooney for absolutely just taking Birmingham from the top 6 to relegation in the championship. Because
good evening from Sydney, Brent. Good evening
after
from
their
Sydney.
4-3 defeat to Southampton last week. I think they're only 1 point outside the bottom 3 in the championship. So that's great to see. And thanks for that question, that last one. I missed that one, but
so apparently the Chelsea game for Spurs could slot in on game week 34, the City Arsenal week.
Right. It's going to be a hectic week for them.
Yeah.
City,
so
Arsenal,
they've got
Chelsea,
a shit end to
Spurs.
April. So April to May is a bad. Sunday 5th of May is my birthday. So you know what?
Happy birthday for you, Tommy. Then, mate.
You know what I'll be wishing for when I blow out the candles, mate.
So I'd be confident if we were ahead of them come the 12th of May.
Because we also play City, Arsenal, Liverpool again, and Chelsea too.
Yeah.
What if Cam Archer, the secret assassin, scores and wins against Spurs?
I'd love it. I'd love to see it.
And they still get relegated, and I'd happily buy him back. That's 20 million well spent. We just earned it back in Champions League.
We've got Palace on the last day, and Palace historically are like 11th or 12th, and they're pretty much on the beach by the last day. So I'm expecting we win that game. And we're looking at Man United's fixtures here. They've got Everton at home, Brentford away, Chelsea away.
They'll lose to Brentford. They'll lose to Brentford away.
I think they might lose to Chelsea away as well.
And I think Liverpool, we could pencil in a loss.
That's the disappointment derby, isn't it? Chelsea, Man United.
At the moment, it is, isn't it? Ridiculous.
I'm not going to lie. Shit as Chelsea. I'm actually rooting for him in a few of these games.
So am I.
The thing is, Chelsea are actually half decent. They just capitulate mid to end games. So if they can just hold on a bit.
I think Casido and Fernandez are way overrated. and they overspent big time on those two. But
well, I think
we'll wait and
what's that
see.
mean? They go. Todd Bowie should have just bought Brighton.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down, Noah. What do we got?
Oh, so they've got Arsenal on that second last game, and then
They've
Brighton
got
away.
Okay.
But they've also slipped.
Hard run.
Because of the recent results, they've slipped to 11 points behind us. That's 3.5 games behind us already. So that's a bit of a buffer. And obviously, we hope we beat Spurs and make it 8 points before they play Chelsea.
I'm not a negative Nelly, but there's been some games we've pissed away where that buffer should be so much more broad than it is now.
I think it's really important we don't lose on Sunday. I think if it's a tight game, and I could see a situation where maybe Emery's happy to take a point with 10 minutes to go. If it's sort of 1-1 going into because we don't want to lose that match on the weekend, and especially with Ajax coming later, depending on how the result in the first leg goes. We might need to get a win in that second leg.
100%.
So, maybe we could see a situation where he plays a bit more defensive, a bit more sort of counterattack. Let Spurs come at us, and hit him on the break.
I don't really want to be hitting him on the break, man. These guys will come at us all game.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just thinking in the sort of like the late part of the match, but it'll be interesting to see what he does. I think this is his biggest week for Villa, as we've spoken. These 3 games are massive. And
I think this is a question for you, Scott. I don't remember this World Cup finals. I think this is a question for you.
Okay. Weepith, I think it is. My son wants the 94 Muller shirt, but made him watch the cup final to understand the history. What does it mean to do that?
No, was that mean to do that?
Oh, no. Oh, okay. What does that mean to do that? Sorry, I can't read. No, you've got to make them watch those games. So that's 100%. Yeah. Like, if he likes the shirt, he's got to get the context. Graham Fenton playing in behind Dean Saunders, Dalen Ackerson shift out to the right, one of his best games for Villa. Tony Daly hitting the post. It was Mark Bosnich's just saved from Mark Hughes. What a game. That's one of my favorite ever games. And we did try and live stream that on YouTube, didn't we, once? But
when we first started up, I reckon.
We did a bit of a
Ollie on Thursday, Marine Boy. Ooh. If we didn't sign Rodgers, I would say no. I wouldn't mind seeing Rodgers be given a full 90 up front. I know everyone's going to disagree.
The problem is Duran isn't fit, is he?
I don't think so.
So start Rodgers, in other words. Rodgers, Diaby.
But Rodgers isn't a centre forward.
Yeah, put Zaniolo there. Zaniolo, Rodgers, Diaby. I think that's a good front 3.
Yeah. Look, I would play him because I don't think we've got a backup.
So honestly, I don't think Manu are even a consideration. Soupy Mark. I have a feeling that's you, Mark T. You've just logged in under a different alias to ask more questions. So we'll let it off.
No, it's a different Mark.
It's a different Mark.
And I agree with him. I think Manchester United.
Ethan Woodward. Who are these new bloody fans popping out of nowhere? I love it.
Make sure you guys subscribe as well.
I honestly, make sure you subscribe as well, right? I think the Wednesday night nudity podcast we're not doing yet, so we'll have to wait a bit.
So do you want to read Ethan's?
I can see us getting 0 points. Just 0 points. Can't just write them off.
Points,
I'm not writing them off, Ethan, but I'm just saying they're not winning convincing games. I mean, they're scoring fucking 98th minute winners.
Mate, he's saying he can't see us getting 0 points.
No, yeah, I understand.
Sorry. I take back what I said, Ethan. Don't worry.
I agree.
I think a lot of this bad dust, bad juju energy in the room.
We were just highlighting the games where we think, we're pretty much going to get 3 points unless something silly happens. Yeah. But look, they're going to have a run into the championship, so they're going to be feeling the pressure too. So those games could be good opportunities.
I think Michelle's raised a great point, to be honest. I would like to see the impact plays that came on against Luton start the Ajax game this Thursday, leave the other first teamers for the Tottenham game. And I completely agree. I think they were thrown in the deep end. And yes, Luton came at us, but we were resilient, and then we went to snatch the winner, right? So I think, give them a chance. It's not like we're throwing him in and they haven't got any runs in the legs. Yep, I think
so.
That's a great idea.
So that team would look a bit like Digne on the left, Longley and Konsa, Matty Cash on the right. In the midfield, Timmy, Douglas Luiz, and McGinn. And then Diaby, Watkins, and Rogers as a front three.
I could say
that. Watkins gets up. He stayed on, didn't he?
Watkins stayed on.
Yeah, no, Diaby, Watkins, Rogers. I think that's a great front three. And then I think Ramsey for impact at halftime if we need to.
Does anyone know what actually happened to Ramsey? I'm not sure it's been confirmed or not why he came off.
Eugene Singh says rest Bailey and Watkins. Does that do you mean not play them at all or bring them on for 10 minutes at the end against Ajax? I mean, I think we'll see them play some minutes. I think if they're rested, they'll come in, Actually, Coxie thinks we should start Rogers against Ajax.
No, he said agree with Tommy, and I don't blame him. Obviously, all my picks are on point, Coxie, particularly around Ollie many years ago. That one just hasn't come to fruition yet. I would rest
Marine
up Watkins
Boy
on
would
Thursday.
Also, yeah.
I think maybe with the comments, do we mean rest not even in the squad, or do we mean on the bench and maybe come on the last 10 minutes if we?
I think surely come on if needed as a sub.
Yeah, I think maybe just have them on the bench,
as insurance sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think also just have them on the bench, just keep their legs warm, doing a bit of jogging. If they come on, they come on. If they don't, I think if you've got 2-0, I think just leave it as is. Shut up shop, bring on like Chambers and just deploy a full defensive unit. No striker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be really interesting because I think it could go two ways. I could really see
Eugene Singh starts Zaniolo up front with Rogers and Diaby. I'm gonna just apply for the coaching role. This is great. Eugene Singh. Now, Singh, is that Sikh or Punjabi, I believe? Let me know, please. And happy Diwali, whatever it is.
But look, we're coming up to an hour now.
Watch a game on TV, Marine Boy.
Is it prediction time, Scott? I reckon.
I think it is prediction time because we're coming up to an hour, and I think that'd be a good time to wrap it up. This has been a really fun and different thing, and we've really enjoyed it. I've had a great time getting all your questions. They're still coming through.
They're everywhere.
It's amazing.
So Soupy Mark is not Mark T. I've just seen two simultaneous comments. Well, Mark has two desktops ready to go. Just his empty.
See, Mark's got a good point here as well. Strongest team.
We need to be specific.
Mark T's 7081. He wants to play the strongest team on Thursday, and then hopefully get a good lead and then rest them for the second leg. But Mark's talking about we do have a event coming up. I will be there, Mark. I'm going to come down to the shoe bar to watch the game against Spurs on Sunday night. So really looking forward to that. If
you see Scott's receding hairline or wig, whatever you want to call it, Mark, go up and say hi, please.
Yeah, pull it off because I did get a haircut in the week, but I am trying to fight the baldness, and it's not. I
think Kieran Smith's probably asked question of the night. When does Pau Torres start again?
I think Tottenham.
Yeah, I think we rest him. I think we rest him and just go all guns blazing. I think this is the right way to go. Fuck, I'm going to call Emery myself.
Absolutely.
Remember, Emery said Zaniolo was the cover for Duran and Punjabi. Thanks, Eugene Singh. I knew it was one of the two.
Interesting. Well, maybe we'll see Zaniolo start as a number 9. That'd be huge. I can't see it, to be honest. I think Ollie Watkins is starting because, why wouldn't you?
You just can't stop him right now. It's like this unstoppable force. That's right.
And I think he probably wants to play every game as well. Just the way
he's going. Question: What's the weather in Ajax?
I think it's a bit chilly, isn't it? I don't know.
We rest Wally. Let him warm. Get the heat pads out.
Before we go to predictions, I still think the Tottenham game is so important. I know it's the away leg of the Europa Conference League, but imagine, right? I think if let's say we lose the first leg 1-0, the home leg is going to be buzzing anyway. But if we're losing that leg, it's going to be like going into that leg, I should say. It's good having the home leg last because the home fans, the whole 10, the 12th man will get you over the line. And I'm completely with you, Marine Boy. I think the Spurs game is way more important at the moment. Seeming it's the first leg of the Ajax game coming up. I want us to win them both, don't get me wrong. But if you offer me now to win the first Ajax game or the Tottenham game, I want the Tottenham game to win. I want us to win that more importantly because Champions League football, getting that money in, be able to attract better players, I think it's massively important.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I think the Champions League is the number one priority. The bread and butter of the Premier League and finishing as high as you can is the number one priority, and it should be the priority. But look, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I don't know, but I think we got to wrap up. We got to do the predictions.
Do we though, Scott?
Predictions.
We've got all these fan love.
Look, we'll do this again. We will do this again.
I reckon we could do it after the Ajax
right,
game. We haven't done a Conference League one yet, so maybe after the Ajax one for us could be.
Well, I think maybe after Spurs we'll
definitely
do it again.
Definitely.
We'll do it again. So we'll let you know when we'll be on and
follow us on social media at Coop de Villa, pretty much everywhere. So get involved and chuck us a follow, and we'll let you know we'll do another live one. But yeah, time for predictions. It's ridiculous.
For Ajax, I'm predicting 3-1 Villa if the away leg.
That's a huge win. And I tell you what, if we win that 3-1, Scott, and you're correct, I think it's gonna be a completely different side at home for the second leg. It'll be a bit different. I think more youngsters will be played. What's your for Tottenham? What's your prediction for Tottenham?
For Tottenham, I'm gonna go 2-2, which I think isn't a bad result.
We are doing predictions.
Oh
wow.
My God. Jesus, Tommy. Jesus.
That's what you get on live TV.
This is great. I'm wearing pants. We're good. All right, Noah, you go next. I know you've been dying for this. If you do it 5 or 6 hours later, you can. I missed that. If you watch it 5 or 6 hours later, you will catch the Gordon Ramsay's kitchen nightmares. Oh, great to know. No, it said you'll catch the UK audience.
Unfortunately, that's the middle of the night for those guys in Melbourne.
For example,
and for me as well, really. But
it's 11 o'clock at night for Melbourne right now.
Scott. I'll do this solo if I have to. Coop to Tommy. Sort out your super chat. Who's Ken?
He's been in there the whole stream.
Ken, you creepy bastard. What do you mean?
Super chat means they give us money, don't they? Is that what super chats are?
Ken, we do this for love. We do this for love.
We will sort it out.
$49.99.
It's our first time on a live stream.
Users can subscribe to the Coop the fans.
Yeah, we'll try and do it on a weekend when everyone around the world can watch, and everyone in UK can watch live too. But all right. Eugent's in New York.
Eugen's sing in New York.
In New York.
Wow.
New York.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see you guys fans from everywhere. Like this is
incredible.
We know now Michelle works from home. We know Eugen Singh lives in New York. Muhammad Adam is from Norway and probably fucking kidnapped.
He'll be checking into this later, Muhammad Adam. So
Muhammad, you have missed out on some live interaction. I always support the show. No, we know who you are, Ken. You have some great contributions.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
So Tommy,
let's wrap it up.
Tommy,
5 miles from Villa Park, Marine Boys, bloody walking distance.
What's your prediction?
Tommy, your predictions.
Ajax, I think, will be 2-1. I actually think we'll concede and then go on to win. I think we actually come up clutch in the last minutes of the game. I think we're up there with the top teams. And then what is it? Spurs, I think 1-0. I think it'll be a fucking dirty game, and I think we'll win and potentially just park the bus.
Yeah, I see the Spurs fans really are looking forward to Romero versus Matty Cash.
Matty Cash, yes.
From the last time, which makes them a bunch of scumbags.
You get what you're given, you fucking quesadilla prick.
No, it wasn't. Right? It wasn't Romero. It was what's his name?
But Romero.
Wasn't it the Brighton guy?
He didn't play that game, and they reckon that he's going to take out justice on him and cut him in half.
All right, relax, man. Please.
But I'll go my predictions. I'm going to go the first leg against Ajax. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Mate, wait, can we have Scott do a negative review again? Because it actually works. Bentancur, there you go. Steed 24/7. It's got fans popping up.
And I think for Tottenham, it's going to be a 3-0 Villa win. I think we're going to blow them at the park. It is a massive, massive game for us.
Look out.
If we're playing at 3-point lane, I'd probably predict us to win again. we love playing at 3-point lane.
3-point
Villa Park, it's going to be 3-0, 3 points. 8 points.
I'm not going to lie. I would love a last-minute winner and all the players just jump into the fans, yellows for everyone.
That's what it looks like at Luton.
It's probably a second yellow for Tim, according to Mark T.
No, that
That's it.
that was from Coxie earlier on that one.
Oh, mate, that's awesome. And
This is-
also, we
yeah.
thank all of our fans and all Villa fans. What a year for the club.
We love
We're
you
just
guys.
riding this wave.
This
I
is
still
gone
think
way
it's going
better than
along.
expectations.
I still think it. Yeah, I certainly think we won't ever be doing any pre-recorded once again.
Yeah, we were
Absolutely. This
thinking
is so much fun.
we were actually thinking, was anyone going to be watching it all? But you know, you guys
Michelle
have
Maynard,
all
3-1
turned up.
Villa Spurs. All right, I don't mind that prediction. Maybe
All
Son
right.
might score at 97th and then, go and chant in front of the fans like they've won the league.
But this is I'm actually lost for words, Scott. To be honest, how well
No,
this
it's
has gone
fantastic.
tonight. It's I'm blown away, absolutely blown away. From
I
everyone's
wish we'd done a
support,
live stream sooner. It's so much easier to interact with the fans this way. And
absolutely,
I know
absolutely.
we've probably stretched it out to an hour, but we definitely don't have to wait for any comments. And if you do have any other commentary, please send them
Chuck them in.
on the video
Yeah.
once it's uploaded.
And even contact us on social media. We're happy to reply to you there. I know a few of the fans are contacting us on there.
right.
So.
And make sure-
Otherwise,
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on all the social media, because we'll be posting
Threads.
an hour or two before we go live next time, so you guys can get ready and catch us for our next live show. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. It's a huge week coming up for Villa. We're going to bring you Ajax and Spurs in our next video, so please make sure you join us for that. And up the Villa, and thank you so much. This has been so much fun, and we'll catch you next time.
up the Villa.
Up the Villa!
Up the Villa.